The pineal gland is your connection to the divine, to higher dimensions of reality. It's your biological mechanism for transcending the ordinary and stepping into the extraordinary. It's not just a small organ sitting quietly in your brain, it's the seat of transformation, the bridge between the physical and the metaphysical. When you understand its role, you realize it is much more than a gland. It is the gateway to profound mystical experiences and a tool for harnessing the immense power of the quantum field. Most people have heard of the pineal gland in the context of sleep because it produces melatonin, the hormone responsible for regulating your sleep-wake cycle. But this gland is so much more than that. When activated, it secretes a cascade of neurochemicals that have the potential to shift your consciousness. One of these is DMT, a molecule often called the spirit molecule, capable of inducing profound spiritual and mystical experiences. Ancient texts have referred to this gland as the third eye or the seat of the soul, and modern science is beginning to catch up to what mystics have known for millennia. Transformation begins when we start to work with this gland consciously. You see, the pineal gland is sensitive to electromagnetic energy. It has tiny crystals inside it that resonate when exposed to specific frequencies. What does this mean? It means that when you learn to tune your brain waves and create coherent energy patterns in your body, you can awaken this mystical organ. Think of it as tuning a radio to a station beyond the static of your daily life, a station where miracles are possible. Here's what's exciting. You don't need to be a mystic living in a cave or a yogi practicing for decades to activate your pineal gland. It's something you can do right now, in this lifetime, with the right tools and practices. And the results can be life-changing. When this gland is activated, you begin to transcend linear time. You start to access the quantum field, the realm where past, present, and future collapse into one infinite now. You might wonder, what does that mean for my everyday life? It means freedom. Freedom from the old story, freedom from the emotional addictions of your past, freedom from the limitations of your identity. When you connect with the quantum field through the pineal gland, you are no longer bound by the patterns of your past. You are no longer defined by your history or your circumstances. Instead, you step into a new realm of possibilities, a realm where you can create your reality consciously. But how do we get there? How do we move beyond the mind's chatter, the stress of daily life, and the distractions of the external world? It starts with entering a state of coherence. Coherence is a state where your brain and heart work in harmony, where your energy becomes aligned, and where you begin to create a powerful electromagnetic field. This field not only affects your biology, but also connects you to the unified field of energy that underlies all of reality. Breathwork is one of the most powerful tools for activating the pineal gland. When you breathe in a way that directs energy upward through the spinal cord, you create a pressure wave that stimulates the cerebrospinal fluid. This fluid flows upward, bathing the brain and stimulating the pineal gland. It's like igniting a spark that awakens your inner potential. At that moment, you're no longer limited by your body, your environment, or even time itself. You enter a realm where the impossible becomes possible. When your pineal gland is activated, your brain produces gamma brainwaves, high-frequency waves associated with heightened awareness and mystical experiences. People often describe these moments as feeling deeply connected to something greater than themselves, as if they've merged with the infinite. They report visions, insights, and an overwhelming sense of love and unity. This is not imagination or hallucination. It's the result of accessing a higher level of reality. What's even more fascinating is that these mystical experiences are not random. They are the result of a deliberate process, a science of transformation that anyone can learn. When you combine focused intention with elevated emotions, you create a powerful signal that the quantum field responds to. Intention is the thought, the blueprint of what you want to create. Emotion is the energy, the fuel that powers the signal. When these two are aligned, you become a creator in the truest sense of the word. Now let's talk about time travel, because this is where the science of the pineal gland gets even more fascinating. When you meditate deeply and activate your pineal gland, you move beyond the constraints of linear time. You're no longer stuck in the timeline of your past experiences or anxieties about the future. Instead, you enter a timeless present moment, a state where all possibilities exist simultaneously. In this state, you can access information from the quantum field that transcends time. You can glimpse potential futures or even rewire your past by changing your energy in the present. This is not science fiction. This is the science of transformation. The quantum field operates beyond the physical dimensions we're familiar with, and the pineal gland is your access point to this realm. When you begin to live from this space, your entire life changes. You stop reacting to the world around you and start creating from within. You're no longer a victim of circumstances, you become the architect of your destiny. You realize that you are not separate from the quantum field, you are the quantum field, expressing itself as you. This journey is not just about achieving mystical experiences. It's about transformation at every level of your being, physical, emotional, and spiritual. It's about becoming more than who you've been, about stepping into a new version of yourself that is limitless, empowered, and aligned with the highest truth. The beauty of this work is that it's universal. It doesn't matter where you come from, what you believe, or what you've been through. The pineal gland is part of your biology. It's your birthright. And when you learn to activate it, you tap into a potential that has been waiting for you all along. Transformation is not something that happens to you, it's something you create. It's a science, an art, and a way of being. When you master the tools to activate your pineal gland and connect with the quantum field, you step into a new reality. You become the person who can heal, who can create, and who can inspire others to do the same. And let me remind you, this is not a theory. This is a practice. It's a practice of aligning your mind and heart, of tuning your energy, and of opening the door to the infinite possibilities that exist within you. The science of transformation is not reserved for the few. It's available to anyone willing to step beyond their limitations and embrace the unknown. This is your time to awaken. This is your moment to step into your power. The pineal gland is your key, and the quantum field is your playground. So let's go beyond the ordinary and explore the extraordinary together. Your transformation starts now. Let me start by saying this. Most people live their lives trapped in a construct of time, believing that past, present, and future are fixed, linear, and unchangeable. But what if I told you that this is only a conditioned belief? What if I told you that time, as we perceive it, is simply a product of our mind, and that by learning to transcend our ordinary awareness, we can actually step outside the confines of time? Yes, I'm talking about the power to time travel, not in a physical sense, but in the realm of consciousness. And the key to this lies in understanding the nature of the pineal gland and the energy systems within us. Let's begin with this fundamental truth. Where you place your attention is where you place your energy. Most of us spend our days thinking about the past. We replay old memories, rehashing experiences that are long gone, and in doing so, we direct our energy to a version of reality that no longer exists. Or we project ourselves into the future, worrying about outcomes or fantasizing about what's to come. But here's the catch. Both of these mental activities are based on the known. The past is familiar, and the future we imagine is often just a repetition or extension of what we already know. To truly transform, to truly transcend, we must break free from this cycle of predictability. You see, the pineal gland, this tiny organ at the center of your brain, is not just a relic of ancient biology. It is your gateway to the mystical. It's often referred to as the seat of the soul or the third eye. And there's a reason for that. This gland is sensitive to light and energy. And when activated, it allows you to access deeper states of consciousness. It's like a cosmic antenna capable of tuning into frequencies that are beyond the ordinary. Think of it as a bridge between your inner world and the quantum field, that invisible realm of infinite possibilities where time and space collapse into a single moment of now. Now, let's talk about the mechanics of this. Your brain operates on different frequencies, from the high-health beta waves of your waking state to the relaxed alpha waves of a meditative state, and then to the deeper theta waves, which are associated with dreams and the subconscious. When you learn to shift your brain waves intentionally through practices like meditation, you can access a state where you're no longer bound by the physical world. In this state, your awareness is untethered from your body and the external environment. You are no longer thinking in terms of yesterday, today, or tomorrow. Instead, you are existing purely in the now, where all potential exists. And this is where time travel comes in. In these altered states of consciousness, you can revisit the past, not just as an observer, but as a creator. You can go back to a painful memory, a moment of trauma, or an experience that shaped your beliefs, and you can rewrite it. By changing your emotional response to that memory, you are literally changing your brain's wiring. Remember, the brain doesn't know the difference between a real experience and an imagined one. If you can create a new emotional signature around a past event, you can free yourself from its grip. This is not just theory, it's neuroscience. You are rewiring your brain, creating new neural pathways, and signaling new genes in your body to create a different future. But it's not just the past that you can influence. You can also project your consciousness into the future. When you align your energy with a clear intention and elevated emotion, when you feel gratitude, love, or joy, as if your desired future has already happened, you are pulling that future possibility into the present moment. This is how manifestation works. It's not about hoping or wishing. It's about embodying the energy of your future self right now, in the present. And when you do this, you're no longer waiting for time to catch up. You are creating a new timeline, one that aligns with your highest potential. The pineal gland plays a crucial role in this process. When activated, it releases powerful neurochemicals like melatonin and its derivatives, which can induce vivid visions and heightened awareness. These substances are often associated with mystical experiences, those moments when you feel a connection to something greater than yourself. In these moments, you may feel as though you've stepped outside of time altogether. You may see glimpses of your past or future, or even experience parallel realities. This is not fantasy. This is the science of transformation. When you activate your pineal gland, you are tuning into a higher frequency, a level of consciousness where time becomes malleable. Think about it. Every great spiritual teacher, every mystic, every enlightened being has spoken about the importance of the present moment. Why? Because the present is where creation happens. The present is where you have the power to transform. But most people don't live in the present. They're too busy dragging their past into their future, recreating the same experiences over and over again. To break this cycle, you have to find the safety in the present moment. You must enter the unknown, the quantum field where all possibilities exist. And you do this by mastering your mind and your energy. This is why meditation is such a powerful tool. When you sit in stillness and focus your attention inward, you're not just relaxing, you're rewiring your brain. You're shifting your energy from survival states like stress, fear, and anxiety to creative states of love, joy, and inspiration. And in this elevated state, your pineal gland becomes a gateway to the mystical. You begin to experience yourself as more than just a body in space and time. You begin to experience yourself as pure consciousness, connected to everything and everyone. Imagine what's possible when you master this. Imagine being able to transcend the pain of your past, to heal old wounds, and to step into a future that you consciously create. Imagine being able to access insights and wisdom that are beyond your ordinary understanding. This is not just about personal transformation. This is about evolving as a species. When enough of us learn to access these higher states of consciousness, we can change the collective energy of the planet. We can move from separation to unity, from fear to love, from survival to creation. But it all starts with you. It starts with your willingness to question the limitations you've been taught. It starts with your commitment to go beyond the ordinary, to explore the extraordinary potential within you. The science of transformation is not just about changing your thoughts or your emotions. It's about changing your entire state of being. And when you do that, time, as you know it, will no longer hold you captive. You will become the creator of your reality, the architect of your destiny, and the master of your own evolution. Listen, everything begins with a decision to change, to step beyond the limitations you've accepted as your reality. Your brain is not hardwired to your past. It is not a fixed structure. It is malleable, adaptable, and most importantly, it is capable of incredible transformation. The science of neuroplasticity proves this to us. You are not at the mercy of your genes or circumstances. You are the designer of your destiny. You see, every time you learn something new, the connections in your brain reorganize. Every time you think a thought repeatedly, it creates a neural network. If you focus on fear, doubt, or limitation, your brain becomes a reflection of that focus. But here's the empowering truth. The same mechanism allows you to shift into new ways of thinking, feeling, and being. When you replace an old thought with a new one, you're carving out a new pathway in your brain, just like carving a fresh trail in the wilderness. And the more you walk that path, the stronger it becomes. Transformation begins when you understand this. Your thoughts are the blueprint, and your emotions are the energy that brings them to life. Together, they create your reality. If you want to create a new life, you have to break the habit of being yourself. You must dismantle the neural architecture of the old self and replace it with something entirely new. Now, let's talk about the pineal gland, this tiny but extraordinary structure deep within your brain. It is your gateway to mystical experiences, to realms beyond what you can perceive with your five senses. When you begin to change the way you think and feel, when you cultivate elevated emotions like gratitude, joy, and love, you begin to activate this dormant center. The pineal gland becomes a powerful antenna capable of tuning into frequencies that exist beyond this material world. This is not esoteric or abstract. It's grounded in science. When you focus inward, when you meditate and elevate your state, you're causing the pineal gland to release powerful neurochemicals like DMT, which opens you to profound mystical experiences. In these moments, you You transcend the illusion of time. You move beyond the linear past, present, future thinking that has governed your life. You enter a realm where all possibilities exist simultaneously, where you are not bound by the constraints of your physical body. Think about what this means. It means that your past no longer defines you. The trauma, the failures, the disappointments, they exist only as memories, as neural connections in your brain. And just as you created them, you can uncreate them. You can rewire your brain to reflect a new identity, one that is free, empowered, and aligned with the greatest version of yourself. When we talk about time travel, we're not talking about science fiction. We're talking about the ability to project your mind into the future, to imagine the imaginary a reality so vividly that your brain begins to believe it's already happened. The moment you do this, your body begins to follow suit. It doesn't know the difference between a real experience and a vividly imagined one. And here's the beauty of it. The more you focus on that future, the more you feel it, the more you align your energy with it, the more you draw it into your reality. This is how transformation happens. It's not about forcing change through sheer willpower. It's about creating coherence between your thoughts, your emotions, and your energy. When your mind and heart are in sync, when your brain and body are working together in harmony, you become a magnet for the life you desire. Mystical experiences are not reserved for the few. They are your birthright. When you activate the pineal gland, when you tune into higher frequencies, you access a dimension of reality that is infinite and eternal. This is where healing happens. This is where you realize that you are not separate from the energy of the universe. You are it. And when you tap into this truth, you can create miracles. When you look at the higher frequencies, you access a dimension of reality that is infinite and eternal. This is where healing happens. This is where transformation happens. This is where creativity. The key is consistency. You can't expect transformation to happen overnight. It's a process, one that requires dedication and intention. But the results are worth it. Imagine waking up every day feeling inspired, energized, and connected to something greater than yourself. Imagine letting go of the fear, the doubt, the stress that has weighed you down for so long. Imagine stepping into a version of yourself that is limitless. This is the power of neuroplasticity. Every time you meditate, every time you choose a new thought, every time you align your energy with your intention, you are rewiring your brain. You are training your body to believe in a new reality. And with time, that reality becomes your experience. When you elevate your state, when you activate the pineal gland, you enter the quantum field. This is not a mystical concept. It's a scientific fact. The quantum field is the invisible energy that connects everything in the universe. And when you align your energy with it, you begin to attract the experiences, the people, the opportunities that resonate with the frequency you are emitting. This is not about wishful thinking. It's about understanding the science of energy, of vibration, of coherence. When you become a vibrational match to the future you desire, you collapse time. You draw that future to you just as surely as a magnet draws metal. This is why it's so important to cultivate elevated emotions, gratitude, love, joy. These are the frequencies of creation. This is not simply, I know this may sound like a lot, but I want you to remember something. You are more powerful than you can imagine. You have the tools, the knowledge, and the capacity to create a life that is extraordinary. It all begins with a single decision. A decision to let go of the past, to step into the unknown, and to trust in the process. The beauty of this work is that you don't have to do it alone. Every time you meditate, every time you elevate your state, you are contributing to a collective transformation. You are raising the vibration of the planet. And as more and more people join this movement, we create a wave of change that is just unstoppable. You are a creator. You are a healer. You are a time traveler, capable of moving beyond the limitations of your current reality. The science of neuroplasticity shows us that the brain is not a prison. It's a playground. It's a tool that you can use to sculpt a new life, a new identity, and the pineal gland. World. It's your gateway. It's your bridge to the mystical, to the infinite. When you activate it, when you tune into those higher frequencies, you begin to see the world not as it is, but as it could be. You begin to see yourself not as you've been, but as you were meant to be. Let me ask you something. What if you could step out of this moment, out of the confines of time, and experience a reality where the future already exists, where the past no longer defines you, and where your potential is limitless? You might be thinking, that sounds impossible, but I assure you, it's not. In fact, it's not only possible, it's natural. The pineal gland, that tiny pea-shaped organ in the brain, is the gateway to these extraordinary experiences. It's often called the seat of the soul, and for good reason. This is not just esoteric philosophy. This is grounded in science. The pineal gland is our biological access point to realms of consciousness far beyond the physical. It's an antenna tuned to receive information from dimensions of reality that exist outside of the electromagnetic spectrum we normally perceive. Most of us live our lives in survival mode. Are you ready to tune in? Stuck in the predictable, the familiar. We wake up every morning and think the same thoughts, perform the same routines, and feel the same emotions day after day, week after week, year after year. And what does this do? It wires our brain into the same patterns. It keeps our energy tied to the past. It reinforces the same personality and the same personal reality. But here's the exciting part. You can change all of that. You can transform your brain, your energy, and your entire experience of life. When we meditate, when we close our eyes and go within, we break free from the outer world. We turn our attention inward and focus on a new reality, a reality not defined by the senses, but by our intentions and emotions. This is where the magic begins. By intentionally activating the pineal gland, you create the conditions for transformation. This tiny gland releases powerful chemicals like serotonin and melatonin, which regulate your mood and sleep. But under the right conditions, it produces something even more profound, dimethyltryptamine, or DMT. Now, DMT is often called the spirit molecule, and for good reason. It's the chemical that allows us to transcend the limits of time and space. When your brain produces DMT naturally through meditation, breath work, or elevated states of consciousness, you experience a shift in perception. Time slows down or even disappears. You feel a sense of oneness with everything around you. You gain access to information, insights, and experiences that transcend logic and reason. These are mystical experiences, and they are available to every single one of us. But here's the catch. To have these experiences, you must get beyond yourself. You must rise above your identity, your ego, and your limitations. You must step out of the known and into the unknown. And this is where the science comes in. The pineal gland is activated when we create a certain level of coherence in the brain and heart. Coherence is a state of harmony where your thoughts and emotions are aligned. When you focus on elevated emotions like gratitude, love, and inspiration, you generate a powerful electromagnetic field that influences your biology and the quantum field. The quantum field is the invisible energy that connects everything in the universe. It is the realm of infinite possibilities where, time is not linear and space is not fixed. When you tune into this field, you are no longer confined by the limitations of the physical world. You become a creator. You can influence matter with your energy. You can bring new possibilities into your reality. This is not wishful thinking. This is the science of transformation. Think about this. Every time you focus on what you want instead of what you fear, you are sending a signal to the quantum field. Every time you meditate and imagine a future filled with abundance, health, and joy, you are creating that future in the quantum field. And when you combine that intention with elevated emotions, you bring your energy into alignment with that future. The quantum field doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to who you are being. Who are you being? Are you being the same person you were yesterday? Are you carrying the same thoughts, the same feelings, the same habits? Or are you stepping into a new identity, a new energy? Because here's the truth. To create a new reality, you must become a new person. You must think greater than you feel. You must act greater than your environment. You must transcend the predictable and embrace the unknown. When you do this, something extraordinary happens. Your brain begins to change. Your neural networks reorganize. You start to think in new ways, feel in new ways, and behave in new ways. You become less reactive to the external world and more connected to your internal power. And this is where transformation begins. Not out there, but in here, within you. As you continue this practice, as you deepen your meditation and expand your awareness, you will begin to access the mystical. You will feel a sense of awe, a connection to something greater than yourself. You may see visions, hear insights, or experience a profound sense of love and unity. These experiences are not random. They are the result of activating the pineal gland and tuning into the quantum field. Now, some people might call this time travel, and in a way it is. When you transcend the limitations of the body and the brain, you transcend time itself. You can visit the past, not as a memory, but as a vivid experience. You can envision the future not as a dream, but as a reality waiting to unfold. And you can experience the eternal present, the now, where all possibilities exist. This is not science fiction. This is the power of the human mind, the power of the heart, the power of energy. And it's available to each and every one of us. So I encourage you, take the time to go within, meditate, focus your mind, and open your heart. Activate the pineal gland and tune into the quantum field. Step into the unknown and embrace the mystical. When you do, you will discover a reality more extraordinary than anything you've ever imagined.